All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Tonight we polish off Week 10 with a good Monday night matchup between our visitors and the Indianapolis Colts. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy that springs for the good stuff.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Taco Charlton. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So now the Colts will get their first opportunity with the football. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Looking to throw. Daniels firing quickly here, and that's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And here are the Colts offensive starters.
Brian Kelly's a great example of how valuable the centers have become in the NFL. A former first-round pick, he was plugged in immediately to be a starter. They handled big nose tackles as well as blitzing linebackers, and also able to move and get out into the run game and get to the 2nd and 3rd level and deliver blocks.
Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 44-yard line. They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. He'll get this up to the 34, and a good lane opening up right away for him. A look at the numbers for Mack from last week. 19 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown.
In a perfect world, they'd run the ball the same way they did last week, but against the #1 rush defense in the league, they're going to have to find a different way to move the ball. Maybe
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, you can't take a sack there.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing you cannot do, they did.
A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also move the sticks. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on third down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
They'll run the screen with Mack. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs. And
oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches' meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special teams?
Here you go. This is why.
This is why, right? And look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. And look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. On 2nd down, it's Manning. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and just a few inches. Trying to run for it with Jacobs. And he's got this down to the 35. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 18 carries, 73 yards.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on him. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
On 3rd down, Fields finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Colts have taken the lead. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Looking to throw on second down. Fields throwing the out route incomplete. It's Lamb.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Throwing on 3rd and long. Fields. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Samson Abuka drops him for a loss of 12, and it also brings up 4th down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball, and this
rush comes and they block it. And that is going to be a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems, and this qualifies as a big problem.
Martin, the return. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
I'm going back to you.
On 1st and 10, Daniels. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10. On 1st down, Daniels. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he's just trying to throw this ball into the hole in the zone, but those windows can open and close quickly, especially in the middle of the field. So if the timing's not right, we'll see interceptions like that one right there.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. On 2nd down now, it's Manning. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. Operating from the gun, Fields. Throwing the comeback route. He's got the hook up to Thomas. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. In for the score. And now they can recapture the lead if they can make the PAT. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He has not had the game that he envisioned. His team has not had the game that they've envisioned here. So how do they turn this around now?
Well, right now what he's looking forward to doing is finding a way to get the added weight on his back. Is it like that monkey that Steve Young was talking about? Remember that in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the 95 Super Bowl.
Right, when they beat the Chargers. And, you know, he had that weight of expectations and past greats on his back. In this case, it's just bad play. Can he shake it off and then be able to play loose and free and help his team out.
See if he can do just that. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. To throw on third down, Daniels. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards.
Still third down.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. This goes to Mack on the check down. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll be fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Taken in at the 22. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Thomas, the intended target. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Daniels dumps this one off to Mack.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Off the play fake. Daniels. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try to loosen things up, get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. 2nd and 6. They'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 12 yards there and a first down. On first down, Jacobs. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They'll run on first down. It's Jacobs. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And once again, the Raiders are back out in front. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost?
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Back to throw. Daniels. Quick hitter here. It's complete. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. 7 yards there and a first down. They go play action here on first down.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And now the Colts call on their field goal unit here. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And this one is right through. And that will cut the lead down to just 2. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Here's a 2nd and 7, and he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. On second down, here's a run with Mack. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down.
8-3.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. This is Mack on the counter, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. Throwing on 3rd and long. Daniels got an open man. It's Washington. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So it's his 3rd field goal now with a ball game, and they've needed his leg. This last one gives him the lead.
It's been a back-and-forth kind of a game, hasn't it? Now you got to tell your defense, guys, need you to make this stand up because we got the momentum going in the right direction, but we need you to make sure we carry it home.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Running the toss here to Jacobs. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Fields. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Jacobs now. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
It's a gain of 6.
Let's get it together.
First down.
Throwing on 1st down. Fields. And Waller taking it in over the middle. And he's got this down to the 35. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Raider 1st.
59, check, 59. Check pass,
On 1st and 10, Fields. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. To throw on 2nd down, Fields. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. DeForest Buckner able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Looking to throw. Fields. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Manning. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A nice run there as he picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and goal now. They've gotten it to the 1. Can they get that final yard here on 3rd and goal? Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter. Now they held them out on 2nd down, and now here's 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Fields. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. From a yard out, and the Raiders have retaken the lead.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. Needed a couple yards for the 2-point try. They go to the ground game, and it works.
And sometimes it's the exact right thing to do because a lot of teams play you for the pass, so you spread people out, decide to run the football. You often find good running lanes.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Marlon Mack now heading back out there. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Just like 39-yard line.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2nd and 5. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Looking to throw. Daniels, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Max Crosby in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. They get the sack on the blitz, but it was 3rd and inches. Are you surprised like I am they weren't running the football there?
I'm right there with you. I would have thought at worst, quarterback sneak, try and pick up the 1st down and move on. But instead, I think they thought they could catch him by surprise and maybe hit something deep.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Check 55 to Mike. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
On first down, Daniels. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again, Daniels. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
That's pulled in at the 32. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. So here are the Raiders now to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give them 7 there on the first down carry. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. On first down, they go with Jacobs again. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? You just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence and playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking. All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. They run it with Jacobs, and he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage.
Oh, no, he lost the football, and the Colts pick it up. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
I know when you're looking at the scoreboard clock, we're getting near the end of this game, but they were in what was really called 4-minute offense, and that's practice, being taking care of the football, taking time off the clock, not giving them a chance to come back. But bottom line is, what did I say at the beginning? Taking care of the football. That didn't happen.
Didn't do it, a costly turnover. So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them. You never want to give extra snaps to any offense. That's how you get hurt.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. The Colts on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 7. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And unable unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But the problem for them is still within a possession. So they can't just sit on it running the ball. They have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew.
Now they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a 1st down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move, but oftentimes it's usually a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down.
So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. On 1st down, Jacobs. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. From the gun, Fields. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's the Raiders punter now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. So the Colts now down by 7, and time a huge factor, needing to go pretty much the length of the football field as they have it 1st and 10. He'll look to throw into the hands of his running back, Marlon Mack. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Back to throw. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown.
Nice move.
Oh, that's about as tough as they come. You're driving to try to put the ball in the end zone and tie the game, and that happens.
It's exciting for us, wasn't it? Because we were thinking, hey, we might be headed towards overtime. Instead, it looks like this one may very well be done. And guess what? If you're a fantasy owner and you have that defense, you just had a big, big game, didn't you?
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
Ready? 8, read.
Throwing after the interception. Daniels looking left side. He's got it. Complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Safarian Jenkins has it. That catch good for 5. It's third down. From the gun on third down, Daniels. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just let them bleed the game out that way.
Johnson's got it complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for our visitors, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, their season is on life support.